what makes you a better mentor, what makes you a better mentor, and actually, and I'm getting so excited about this, you guys, because when you see people excel and surpass you is when you know that you are actually doing a good job. When you actually see people at levels that you yourself did not reach, but you see these people that you saw them from one point and they grew. Now, of course, is everything going to be a bed of roses? Absolutely not. There are going to be moments in time where a mentor may have you to sit down. They may have you to work on certain aspects of yourself, because regardless of how talented you are, if your attitude and everything does not line up with the way that you are doing things, basically you are going to have to sit some things out. You are going to have to build character when it comes to certain things, learning to accept the fact that everything is not going to always be a yes when it comes to you being amongst a positive mentor, okay? Someone who identify that you actually have potential, okay? So again, there is a balance to this thing. You can usually feel that a person is oppressing you, okay? And that's what it typically feels like when you are amongst a person who is jealous and envious, or a person who doesn't want to see you succeed. And that can be anyone. That can be a teacher, a mentor, a lover. That can be a mother or a father. It can even be your children. It can be anybody, okay? Anybody can have a feeling of wanting to oppress you, okay? So be mindful of those things. When you think about a person who has people amongst them and they're mentoring, you never see people really growing. That's the problem. That is when you know that there's something that is not happening within this mentorship. When you are a person who is doing something, especially when it comes to being successful in life, many people feel as if you're learning the skill is enough, and it's not, because many a times there are people who literally are, an example would be Nepo babies, okay? So this is something that Nepo babies are the topic that I'm going to tie into at a later date, due to the fact that there is a lot of people who inherit certain things and they have imposter syndrome. Even when we think about people who don't really work hard for the things that they actually have, okay? And many times when it comes to people who actually inherit things, there are some people who truly do work hand in hand with their parents, and they actually earn these things. And though being a Nepo baby has a negative connotation to it, being a Nepo baby is a blessing, okay? That is a blessing that your parents actually were responsible enough to actually manage money, to actually build a business for you to inherit. However, being fortunate enough to have access to those things should not allow a person to mismanage those things or to have a self-entitlement. In fact, when you are a person who inherits something such as a family inheritance, it is very important for you as an individual to actually manage that thing far better than the previous generation, okay? So this is something that can be very difficult. There's a negative connotation that comes along with that. However, you know, there are going to be people who are going to feel specific ways about that. But when you are the person that's actually putting in the work, you have to build yourself up to know that, you know, yes, you've inherited a certain thing, but it doesn't mean that you do not deserve those things that you have in fact inherited, okay?